I'm Tom Fisher and I'm a postdoctoral researcher in plant genetics, and I study the evolution and development of plants through liverworts. In my research, I look at how plant genes shape the way they grow, and I do this in liverworts because liverworts have very simple genetics, but also they sit in a very important position in the evolutionary tree of plants. Over 500 million years ago, there were no plants on land. And then a freshwater green algae evolved to grow out of the water. And this first land plant is very important because every plant that you see around you, like if you look outside, everything green, the pine trees, the sunflowers, the grass, mosses, ferns, they all evolved and descended from this first land plant. That plant had these tools to shape its growth and development, and those tools were passed down through many generations and adapted in many different ways. Cool fact about my job, maybe a little bit gross, is that with my liverwort Mycantia, it grows in wet places. And if you think about other plants, they have pollen that sort of blows around the wind or is carried by bees, but with liverworts, they actually have sperm that can swim through the water to fertilize other plants. And it's just sort of weird because, it's a part of a plant that's moving, it's active, and it's, that's not something that plants generally do. So what's important about my work is that it's very real and very specific, like what does this gene do in this plant? But it also steps back and takes a bigger picture view of throughout all of history, what has this gene been doing in all of land plants? Well, to me, science opens up new ways of seeing the world. Most of us are blind to what's going on around us. Science just focuses in on things and shows you a new perspective on the world that brings so much out of things that you can easily overlook. If you find this stuff interesting and you want to be a plant geneticist, I would just say follow your interests, because what I did is I was interested in science, so I went to university to study science, and then I became interested in genetics, so I studied genetics, and then I became interested in plants, so I studied plant genetics, and I found some way that I could do that as a job, and I think I found myself in an interesting place just by following my interests. So you want to be a plant geneticist, you can become a plant geneticist, but you could be led somewhere totally different in science as well.